in the bottom right, our Protoss, he is Stats! His opponent in the upper left, here to break the Korean combo from Finland. Make some noise for Serral! So far, everything pretty ordinary. We have that Phoenix coming out with an Oracle behind it. We see Serral setting up that third base. Again, guys, nothing looks really cheesy. Nothing seems to be deceptive. They just want to play straight up standard Starcraft.
Yeah, now what is the next tech step here for Stats? With the Zerg player, you are normally the reactive player. You're kind of sitting back, trying to figure out what your opponent is doing and absorbing that so that you can grow larger and larger on the map, quite literally, and take them out in the later game. Oh, a second Stargate once again from Stats. He's really getting ready for these Phoenixes.
Okay, here come those Phoenixes now, and I don't think they're really going to do the damage that Stats is looking for. If the Queens are already here to basically deflect this.
Yeah, the Phoenixes flying around, they see those Queens. You're not going to fly into that, that's for sure. Flying across, going towards the third base. We'll see if anything's there. In the meantime, of course, getting up into his double row.
Invest in these Phoenixes, they really do have to do some damage. You can't invest in it and then nothing happens. So each of these drone kills is so important. And so far, so good. That's what he was looking for. But behind this, Stats is going to get more and more immortals so he can actually combat a Zerg ground army.
Yeah, and that is what Serral's building up to right now. He has the Baneling Nest on the way. He has the Hydralisk Den on the way. That's what Stats expects to see. That's what he expects to play against. He just needs to slow Serral down enough that he has his Psystorm ready, he has his Immortals, his Charge, his Gateways, his economy all together.
A few Lings coming in here. Again, we saw in the earlier games he attempted to snipe those sentries, but we're not having anything like that right now. And really what Stats is doing, he's beginning to pay off those Phoenixes. He's getting the drones, he's getting the kills. I'm really liking this game for Stats.
I mean, it's pretty good, but Stats is moving out before that Broodlord tech comes into play.
Pretty even in supply, and with the Broodlord tech actually as far away as you were saying, Artosis, I'm worried that there might be an opportunity here to punish, but Serral does come with a little counterattack here. Can he get the denial on this Nexus? If he could, that would be huge, but Stats is ready.
Oh, is he ready for these Banelings with speed? Okay, nice handling right there by Stats, but Serral, of course, setting out another little counterattack. Banelings headed certainly towards one of his expansions.
The name of the game for Serral is to try to buy time, and with this counterattack, is Stats going to notice he's evacuating these probes, and they do not connect.
Those Banelings, they don't get as much damage as he was really looking for. That's okay, though. It's not the biggest investment, but that Greater Spire, it is on the way. It's going to finish up 5. Son, Broodlords are out right now, and Stats does not have a strong counter to them.
Okay, with these Broodlords out, I'm not sure how Stats can really address this. We do see a fleet beacon being made, but of course getting into that tech, that's going to be a little while, Artosis.
Yeah, he might have to go into Tempest or something like that, which is not the way that a Protoss wants to play. You want to get into mass carriers, but you have to do what you can do to make sure the Broodlords do not punish you for your lack of tech.
Oh, and we might have a big counterattack here. We see a force coming down here over in the center right. These Hydras are doing a lot of damage. These Archons are not going to be enough. Meanwhile, Stats is going to try to push into the heart of Serral's base.
Oh, Serral with such good positioning on those Broodlords. The Archons cannot reach them when they're over that terrain. In the meantime, the Lingbane Hydra moving in, eradicating these Zealots, going after these Archons as well.
The recall goes back to try to defend, and Serral immediately evacuates. Serral doing a brilliant job of controlling where Stats is on the map.
Oh, is it time for Serral to push yet, or is he going to fall back defensively with these Broodlords? That's the question. Lots of Corruptors, lots of Broodlords. This is a scary combo, but if Stats continues to add in his big capital ships, Tempest, maybe carriers, he has Archons underneath to defend them from the Corruptors, as well as Psystorms, he can battle toe-to-toe against this.
Okay, Stats is beginning to move out, and you got to be careful because these Tempest, when they hit you, there's not a lot of ways to respond or punish it, right?
He'll be one-shotting these Broodlords momentarily.
Yes. And now we're seeing such a high amount of Archons coming forward here.
Oh my God. That is a lot of Archons right now. 11 on the field with 4 Tempest upgrades going everywhere. There are a couple Vipers that have joined, so those definitely can change things if he doesn't get the feedbacks off right away.
Okay, another tag there with that Oracle. Now he's actually hit the Broodlords. This is going to be very annoying for Serral. As you can see, the Tempest can then fire into this location, and there's no real way for Serral to retaliate unless he tries to dive on top of this army.
Oh, and it looked like for a moment that he might. The Queen's coming forward, getting feedbacked, but Stats being very careful here. If either side loses their army, that is going to be terrible. They'll lose additional bases while they try to reinforce, and it's going to be very hard at that point to win the game.
So Stats is going to back up. He's cleaned up that side of the map. Very nicely done here by Serral. This expansion is going to go down, although this is not the most valuable expansion on the map. You can see that most of the minerals were already mined out.
Well, he cloaks it, so I guess it's going to live. With the carriers coming out, he will be able to push these Hydras back. So nice save there. In the meantime, Serral did lose 2 bases.
Okay, this could be bad. He gets it.
Oh, a beautiful abduct onto the mothership, and he picks it off for free.
Unreal. Yeah, that was out there.
In Psy Storms, it's hard for any Zerg to break through.
Okay, he's going for it. He's harpooning those carriers in here and taking them out. And it seems like Stats has decided he should take his fight elsewhere.
Oh my God, beautiful execution here from Serral, picking off so many Archons as well as some of these capital ships. And now it's Stats giving up bases.
I think that Serral can actually come over here and take this base out in the center right, correct? I mean, there's nothing over there. A good little counterattack here by Stats, doing a lot with a little, but meanwhile, a counter here from Stats, hitting this base on the far left.
Well, now this is how you abuse those Broodlords. They're very slow, hard for them to go defend. In the meantime, Zealots chasing those drones. Oh my God, the Corruptors even getting in on the fight. Serral gonna take down another Nexus.
Okay, can we go big picture here? Well, let's check how many minerals are at each base here. Let's start with the Protoss here. Okay, so that has plenty. He'll be mining from that for a while. Yep, there's no Nexus there, but down here in the bottom left, okay, this has basically been untouched, so it's more like he has that position. Plenty of minerals over here, and does he have anything more? So that's going to dry up pretty quickly, and that...
I mean,
that's not going to last for too much longer.
They keep playing whack-a-mole with these expansions, so it's hard to say how that's going to go, but Serral does have a bigger bank than Stats. Oh my God, Serral just jumping on top of absolutely everything, picking up one carrier, another carrier goes down. It looks like he's going to maybe get all of them.
He's decided to commit. He's coming in here now, and I'm seeing these air units for Stats begin to go down. The mothership taking heavy fire, and this whole location is going to be given up here by Stats. We now have 194 supply to 141, and there's not a lot of gas in the bank here for Stats.
Places at once. You see him walking around with different groups of units. Here goes a group of Zealots up to this base. Can he pick that one off?
Okay, he's going for these drones. The drones will have to be pulled away. If he can get the hatchery, that would be ideal. Meanwhile, we've got a huge attack headed down here to the bottom left, and Stats needs to keep this position.
Oh, a lot of banelings rolling in right now. Stats, most of his mining is here. Probes starting to fall. They're trying to run away. Oh, a beautiful baneling hit, and it looks like that Nexus is going to go down.
And with that Nexus gone, there's just not much else that Stats can do in the economy game. I love how Serral then escapes, heading north with the rest of his air army. Oh my God, these banes are going to come in here and start hitting these workers.
He kills quite a few there once again. Stats just down to 30 probes. Look at that, even burrowing banelings now. Serral is just incredible this game.
Serral, interestingly enough, is actually now expanding towards the bottom left. He wants to have this game be all about this corner of the map. This way he can attack the bottom left and also kind of defend the left center.
Yeah, it's a good strategy. Look at this. He keeps flying in here with this Corruptor Swarm. He's looking for that damage. The Lings, they counterattack into the bottom left. Stats can't keep it alive. His army is not big enough right now to defend every location.
I'm wondering if Stats needs to try to then expand over to the center right. Does he just give up this spot? Because it seems like Serral's really grown into this area. And keep in mind also with Stats making like carriers and Tempest, every time you lose that, it takes a long time to remake it. So every win that Serral has gives him a lot of time to capitalize his position on the map. Such a complicated understanding of how super late game goes. He knows how to trade efficiently all the way throughout.
Now, oh my God, the Broodlord's actually going for an attack right now. They're going to be able to pick off a huge amount of ground units. All the rest of the Immortals and the Archons over there should fall.
Now with these Broodlords coming in, this expansion is so important here for Stats. Stats cannot afford to lose this. He's not going to have any more minerals to mine from if he does.
Oh, I think this is going to force a fight right now. Stats flying over with his Golden Armada. He doesn't save the Nexus, but in the meantime, some harassment with the few Zealots that Stats has left.
It does appear that Serral should be able to clean the rest of this up, but it's just Stats here with this one base at the bottom center. Not a lot of minerals at that.
Oh, Stats, this is really his last outpost right now. He has to keep it alive. Serral coming in from a flank. There are Psystorms under here. There are Archons under here. But some Ducks come out and instantly picking off 2 of the Tempests.
I really do feel like the walls are starting to close in here for Stats. You can see he's slowed down to a crawl here as he's trying to get out of the map, and Serral is basically staying back and looking for a moment to engage. He goes in there, he kills off a carrier, maybe an Archon, and then he flies away. And with the minerals and gas banked up, let's say that they have a huge fight and almost all of their armies are wiped out. Serral's going to be the guy that can remake everything. Stats is not.
It's very true. Stats needs to win a decisive fight against this army and then another decisive fight against the army he refills with. At that point, he has a real chance to take this game.
Some more warp-ins coming from Stats. Once you get this kind of an army, you're kind of stuck going for it. We see the Broodlords coming in. It's actually kind of insane how much damage he's done with these Broodlords. Some more Broodlords coming in here right now, doing some damage. And again, another snipe on the carrier.
A huge snipe right there. Every unit is so hard for him to remake here. He's buying Zealots at this point. That's not what you want with this main army. But Stats still keeping the hope alive. Carriers can be so efficient. Serral with a little counterattack over here, trying to do more than Stats can deal with.
And actually, that's going to get in another nuisance there. It seems like Stats is debating, should he take a fight? Should he try to hit this center left location? Meanwhile, Serral's already expanding to the top right.
Oh man, these Zerglings doing a lot over there as well, forcing him to warp in Zealots that again he cannot afford. But Stats is mining. He's trying to push back some of this creep and hopefully look for that good engagement.
Okay, Stats is going to go in the middle of the map. He's looking for a fight, and I think he's going to get it. We see these Broodlords now being hit. Some good dodging on those Psionic Storms from Serral. Is Serral going to try to come in here and fight this?
Really great micro here by Stats. Look at him rotate those High Templars around, getting those important Psystorms down on the Corruptors. That's what he's really afraid of.
But with these Lings coming in, he can take out the rest of these workers. Again, Stats is so low on economy. He needs to protect this expansion.
Okay, it kills 10 of his workers, but in the meantime, he is counterattacking. Looks like he might be able to take out this base. Will Serral go for a big fight? He's actually, picks off that mothership.
Beautiful snipe on the mothership. It's going to be a lot easier for Serral to engage when he decides it's that moment.
These carriers have such damage output, you can really see, but look at that, every time an abduct goes off, he kills another carrier, 2 more fall. The Broodlord's starting to get picked off here as well, though.
He comes in once more. He can basically one-shot these carriers, and I don't think there's any solution here for Stats. He's going to come in. Serral overwhelming the air fleet of Stats.
And that is it. GG!